All right, guys, we're in Claremont. It's a call of a transient going and knocking on doors. And they're out with the guy right now.
You guys knock at our house? Can I help you, sir?
Oh, no, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. The officer, did you guys knock? We didn't knock. He was going around knocking on people's doors. That's why we're talking.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
It sounds like... So he's out with the guy right now. He was going around knocking on doors. And maybe he's looking for something to eat. You know, never know. I thought we'd come up here and grab it. See what happens to him if they just let him go. I mean... something. I mean, technically, he really isn't committing a crime. He's just knocking on doors. Maybe he's lost, you know. He needs to use a phone. Maybe he needs some water. Who knows? But they called the police, which is, you know, reasonable. I mean, you know, got this guy out at night knocking on your doors. They said he's going from house to house, going door to door. Again, we're in the city of Claremont, and this is South College, just above Oak Park. And, so I thought I'd come up here for accountability and safety of everybody. I really didn't know what was going to happen to this guy. I mean, not that anything bad would happen, but you know, never know. But again, to update you, they say he was going door to door knocking on the doors. And I guess some of the neighbors got scared. I mean, that may be disturbing the peace. I don't know. I don't want to fabricate a crime, but technically it's not really much of a crime because we don't know why he was knocking. They got him walking up the road. I don't know if it's this guy or the officer. I don't think said he knocked on their door here. They were asking if the officer knocked on their door. It's probably that guy right there. So, and that's a Dodge, huh? Yeah, they got the Dodges. Them things run, man. They got the they got them engines in them. They'll just like outrun you. I think I saw a Chevy earlier. I don't know if it was Pomona or Claremont, but that's a Dodge right there.
I know that. So just continue to be cool and allow me to conduct my investigation.
You said just continue to be cool. Now, Yucaipa just got their a Dodge. I don't know if they got two. I know we have one Dodge, but they go with the Ford Explorer for the vehicles. You see, this one's a Dodge.
Place your hands on top of your head for me, Steve.
Oh, he's gonna get handcuffed. Does he have a warrant?
Alright, put these handcuffs on you, but listen. You're not under arrest, okay? You're just detained right now.
Just detained.
Put your hands on top of your head for me. I need you to listen. Put your hands on top of your head for me. Lift up your elbows.
He's locking his elbows.
Listen, I'll explain to you right now what's going on, okay? Keep your hands on top of your head. Interlace your fingers like you're praying. Listen, Steven. I don't want to point you, Steven. Steven.
I think he's mentally ill. That's probably why he was knocking on the doors. He's got some type of mental illness.
Steven, put your hands on your head. Steven, put your hands on top of your head for me.
He doesn't, I don't think he understands, but you know,
If you promise to let me go if I'm innocent, I'll put my hands on my head.
If you can just contact
he said, if you promise to let me go, I'll put my hands back on the top of my head.
I'm not trying to mess with you. I put my hands on my head.
Oh, he said he put his hands on top of his head, but then he took them back down. So I guess he said, I did put them on top of my head. It's not Simon Says, though.
Steven, I put your hands on.
He's going to have to call for another unit.
Steven.
Okay, I'll put my hands on my head.
There he goes. Hold on.
Come on, Steven.
Do anything.
Steven, keep your legs up for me.
See how he's pulling his hands into his stomach? That's a sign of some type of mental illness, whether it's schizophrenia or something else. He's not really fighting, he's mentally ill.
Okay, Steven, put your hands on top of your head. Steven, I'm being very reasonable with you.
And the cop is being reasonable. But again, the man has a, see how he's not really being violent because he's mentally ill. He's pulling his hands into
I
his,
didn't do anything wrong.
Steven, put your hands on your head for me.
he said he didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, put your
I mean,
hands on your
technically he
head.
was knocking on doors.
Okay,
I
put
don't
your
know if
hands
that's
on
so
your
much a
head.
crime. People were telling him to leave. You go next door, knock on the other door.
Steven, put your hands on your head for me. Okay, put them on top of your head.
See how he's tensing up right
Steven,
there?
I'm not trying to fight with you.
I don't fight.
Okay, put your hands on your head.
Go. I already put my hands on.
Oh, he's gonna force him.
I'm not gonna fight you, sir. I promise.
He's gonna have to call for another unit. I wonder why he wants to handcuff him though, because he's just sitting there.
Steven, put your hands on top of your head for me.
Does he have a warrant or something?
Steven,
He's just sitting there. Yeah, he's gonna need another unit. Yeah, a lot of times these transients that are out here at night, they got,
if
you
you're
know,
making this into a bigger situation than this needs to be.
different problems, mentally health-wise. You know, and he's not really being violent, but you know, unfortunately he has to do it, you know. Oh, he's putting his hair in a ponytail. Like I said, I didn't hear if he had a warrant or anything. And all he was doing was knocking on doors. I mean, it's not, you know, at midnight, that's not the really keen thing to do. But I don't know that there's been a crime committed just knocking on a door. At least he knocked on the door, he didn't go to the backyard.
Steven, you have to understand that someone called us because you were knocking on their doors for no reason.
That's not a crime, though.
You had no business being on their front porch.
That's
at
not a crime,
midnight.
though. If they say leave, then he leaves.
Okay, well,
I mean, it's,
I'm trying to conduct an investigation.
it might be
Let's not make it
suspicious,
scary.
but it's not technically a crime. Unless he stays
You're
after
just
he's asked to
making
leave.
This whole process go longer.
Then it's 6:02.
Where if you would have just let me put you in cuffs, I could have sat you down, and I would have made a couple phone calls and spoke with the people who called us, and you probably would have been home by now. But you're acting very childish, and you're prolonging this whole situation.
So he said, well, like I said, at midnight you're knocking on somebody's door. It's, you know, it raises alarms. But I don't know that it's a crime. It's not 6:02 until they say leave my property and they don't leave. Then of course it becomes 6:02 trespass. But just to go up and knock on someone's door is not really a crime. At mean, it could get you hurt. By some people get scared, but it's not a crime. I mean, if you're banging on the door, it could be disturbing the peace, but just going up and knocking on a door, that's not a crime. I mean, you don't know. Maybe he's got a medical emergency. Maybe he's needed some water. He's desperate, or I don't know. But I don't know that we have a crime yet. We just have suspicion. Suspicion's not a misdemeanor or a felony. I mean, it's something you have to look into. Why is he out here at midnight going door to door? That's kind of weird. But it's still not a crime.
But if you would have allowed, listen.
See, now,
if you would have allowed me to do what I had to do.
see what
so
he
I
said?
could've
If you would
talked to
allowed me
them,
to put you in handcuffs, I could call the.
then we could've
Who says that?
handled this whole
Chief
situation.
McManus, San Antonio, Texas.
But like I said, you're prolonging this whole
If you would
situation.
just go along with the program and give up your rights,
You're the only reason
you'd be home by
we're
now.
still sitting here.
You know, I don't know that a crime has been articulated yet. I don't know why he has to handcuff him to call the RP. All this time, he could have just called them. I think he just said, I talked to you before. But yeah, I don't know that there's been a crime articulated yet.
I've talked to you plenty of times before. And we have never had an issue.
Okay, so he's dealt with this guy before. So he kind of understands the guy's mental problems. Yeah, it's about coming up on 12:30 a.m. Yeah, it is. It's, I guess, just a waiting game now. This could get ugly. I don't know why he just don't call the RP and say, yeah, what was he asking you, blah, 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 you know. Why he's got to handcuff him? I mean, he's sitting there calm.
Okay, well, did it to yourself.
And again, I mean, there's a little
I
bit.
didn't do anything wrong. I knocked on my neighbor's door and asked for an item.
He asked for something. I didn't hear what he asked for. Said he knocked on his neighbor's door, so he's not a transient. He has an address. If he said neighbor, I don't know. It doesn't sound like the people know who he is. Like nobody knew who he was. They saw him walking up the street.
Okay, well, we're past that part now.
But, I mean, it's kind of what I was saying earlier when he spoke. I didn't want to interrupt him. But, kind of, you know, like I said, I'll say it again. You're out here knocking on somebody's door at midnight.
I don't
It's
know what
like,
to tell you, Steve.
here comes another. This is probably the other unit.
Just prolonging this whole investigation.
Yeah, this looks like another unit. No. Nope, it's a car. So I don't know what we're waiting on now. Just a waiting game.
Well, so far your story and their story matches. So
So he had said their story and his story match. He said, like the reason he was knocking on doors, he said, well, your story and their story match. So just tell him to go home, right? Or, oh, I gotta handcuff him. If his story matches, he's probably just mentally ill. You know, just tell him no more knocking on doors. Keep an eye on him for 5 or 10 minutes as he walks off. But, I don't know. And again, I'm kind of going on some of the information, so most of what I have is a hypothesis, a theory. It's kind of based a lot on, I mean, I do have some of the information. So far all we have is a guy that was knocking on doors, which is not the smartest thing to do at midnight, but again, if they say get out of here, you go off the property and go next door, it's not 6:02, you left. It's not burglary, you're knocking on the front door. It's not breaking and entering.
you were walking around just fine 10 minutes ago.
I'm sweating, dog. You hear that? Delete laws? I'm sweating, dog. I don't know if I think we're waiting on another unit. He must be coming from Bangladesh. Oh, he's laying down now. He's going to sleep. He's been walking, you know. He's tired. He's just going to take a nap. Might as well. He's not going anywhere. It's just another regular city car. I don't know what we're waiting on now. See, right now he could call the RP. He said he had to call the RP. Why don't he call him right now? Or is he waiting on someone to take this guy to the hospital, maybe? Wanted to put handcuffs on him, but I don't know what for.
Hi, sir. Hi. You live around here? I live right down the street. All I did was knock on my neighbor's door. I have a perfect record. I just wanted to let go.
Okay, so he said that he lives right down the street. He went and knocked on his neighbor's door. Didn't do anything wrong. Just wants to go home. It's not like he wanted a bottle of water. But he's saying he knocked on his neighbor's door, but it sounded like the people didn't know who he was. They said a guy dressed in black knocking on doors. They didn't say my neighbor or this guy lives up the street. They just said some guy in black. Here's our second unit. So, you know, he might have got confused. Maybe it's not his neighbor. Maybe it's somebody down the street somewhere. So, oh, this cop's looking at me hard. You know?
I don't know. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can we help you?
Yeah, cheeseburger and chocolate shake would be perfect.
Okay, Carl Jr.'s open down there. You can go grab and get one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you go, man. You want it?
You're very helpful.
No problem. Yeah.
Very helpful.
Knocked on my neighbor's door.
On neighbor's door.
For an item.
All right. What item are you looking for, buddy? A lighter? I don't know, a lighter. Where can we give you a ride somewhere tonight?
Yeah, dude was looking hard at me. I knew he was gonna say something.
Oh, he does live right there. Yeah. Okay. You want to feed you right back your pet?
Oh, they said he does live somewhere. So see, he does live down the street. He does live down the street, they just said.
Down there in the back of my car.
He said I could take you there in the back of my car.
I'd rather do it that way.
Once you're in the back of the car, though, that's it. He doesn't sound drunk or anything, but he does appear to have some type of mental health issues.
Yeah. I don't really see rainbows at the end of the trail because I work at night. Steven, stop knocking on people's doors. Don't knock on people's doors tonight, okay? It's a little bit late, buddy.
See, the camera saved this guy.
Yeah.
So they wanted to handcuff him. Apparently he didn't do anything wrong. See how that works?
Have a good night, sir.
You too.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't go knocking on doors at midnight. I mean, he didn't commit a crime. Just scared some people. Go home. There you go. This guy wanted to handcuff him for some reason. Oh, he's gonna go make contact with her. Oops. Sorry, I keep putting my hand away. So we're gonna go ahead and walk this way and keep recording. See how the guy got out and he goes, "Can I help you?" Well, I have a camera. I'm recording you guys. So unless you want to record me, and I'll get in front and give you an interview, maybe. But there you go. So see how when the corporal gets here, he decides, well, we can't arrest him. He didn't commit a crime. Send him home. That's what you do. That's exactly what the other guy should have done. Should have told him to go home. They don't want to do that. Oh, is he waiting for me to walk this way? We're gonna record him coming this way. Let's see, because he might go and look this guy down. So, unless he's just parking. Oh no, he's coming this way. So we'll continue to record. See, he's gonna stop here. I still got my camera going. He was gonna stop, but he saw me in my camera. I don't know, maybe he wasn't gonna stop. But you see how that works? Yeah, I don't know if that guy's all there. But I do know cop up there is trying to handcuff him. For what? Who knows what he was trying to handcuff him for. But there you go. It's over.